once you start getting help, you can expand your capacity. Not only are you around people who give you advice on how to do it properly, but now you actually have some physical help. Many people, they're like, well, I'm a life insurance agent. I don't want to pay money to have someone do the things that I can do. You heard the old saying, if you want something done right, you got to
Do it yourself.
do it yourself. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible adage, right? Well,
If you want to always be doing it.
yeah, if you want to always be doing it, do it yourself. Correct. If you want to grow and scale, get some help. Get around some people who see things differently.
Welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. Today it's me and Roger Short. Glad to have you back in the studio.
Glad to be here.
Hey, it's always fun. We're missing our man Chris today, but maybe we'll have him again next week. He's actually on vacation with his family.
Yeah.
But
Michigan, by the way. He's a Michigan fan, by the way.
He is. Yeah. But today we have a special topic that we want to talk about. And, Roger, I know this is going to be really good for you because you've had tons of experiences in growing and scaling companies in different industries. And now we're looking at that in the life insurance industry as well. But what I want to focus on, and this can really go in all different types of levels, from an agent that doesn't have anybody on their team, but they're trying to grow their personal brand, or a team that's trying to get over a hurdle of $50,000 a month or $500,000 a month, whatever they're stuck at. These principles can really translate and go to every aspect of our business, and it's really how to stay focused and profitable at the same time growing your business and reaching into areas or avenues that you haven't been in before.
Mm-hmm. I think this topic is good too for the brand new person who's actually just transitioning into this industry, who's got another career, trying to figure out how to implement this career, and they're switching in, because this idea of staying focused and growing when you're trying to add something new to what you're already doing, it takes some mental gymnastics.
It does, and it takes some preparation to be able to come into something like this. So like you said, there's a lot of people, and that's what's beautiful about this business is you can come into this part-time if you do it and plan it right to make that transition, because quite frankly, a lot of people that this opportunity appeals to, and really should appeal to everybody, but it's people that have been in another career at some capacity, and it just wasn't reaching their expectations. They felt stuck. They couldn't get out of it. They reached a limit. Somebody moved the cheese on them one too many times, and they want to take control of their future.
Yeah.
But they have a family at home. They have kids depending on them. They have bills that won't...
Obligations.
Yeah. So this is really that perfect conversation, whether you're growing your business inside of this organization or you're trying to build and expand a business that you're not in yet, you're trying to transfer to.
Yeah.
And the first thing I want to talk about is actually starting to expand into that business or adding an additional product line. When you think about adding a product line, I know me personally, right? When I came into this, when you brought me into this, umpteen years ago. No, but
how many years ago was it?
About 8 years ago.
I said it on a call this morning. I couldn't remember. Was I right when I said 8?
It was 8 years ago. But coming into this, I was purely focused on a final expense product line, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people moved into that, but there's agents out there that have been in a mortgage protection line or Medicare or maybe only med sups. There's so many people that we get to meet at all these different events, and we ask them what they do, and they're, for the most part, they're in one area.
One segment, yeah. Advanced markets, IULs, annuities, and they've never sold final expense, or they've never sold mortgage protection. Or
do you feel that that's changing?
Yeah, I do. I think it's changing because I think there's an awareness that's going on now about having diversity in your business, and about the value of that diversity in your business. With the proliferation of how easy it was to generate mortgage protection leads, for instance, in the last 2 years, and how that's changing already now with the rising interest rates, and how now it's becoming more challenging to develop a mortgage protection lead for a new homeowner. There's just not as many new mortgages originating. There's not as many, new loans being financed. So those are more difficult. And so having some diversity in your business lineup now is more appealing to people. They realize, hey, I hear that there's like 50% renewal on Medicare. Is that true? I hear that there's a 100% renewal on Medicare supplement plans. Is that true? On life insurance plan, the renewals are what? 5, 6, 7% in that range, sometimes lower depending on how long the policy has been enforced. So people are starting to see, if I diversify the business a little bit, there's a way to do that. The fear is, though, like I know this really well, and to learn something new, I got to give up something here to learn something new. It's one of the fears we have, right? It's this loss
100%.
fear. I talked about it in one of our coaching sessions,
100%.
this loss fear. We start saying, well, in order for me to get to second, I got to take my foot off first, and that feels really weird, and I'm not sure if I'm prepared to do it, if I have the capacity to do it, do I have the right community to do it, do I have the time to do it, do I have time to learn this part-time while I'm still at my full-time career and learn something new, do I have time to add a new product line while I'm focused on maximizing my earnings on this one vertical.
So in your opinion, because that is so true, everybody makes it out to be this hardest thing in the world, and what they're doing is the easiest, and they don't have the time, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the ability to learn it because maybe it's all online, whatever the case may be. Like that is so everybody, right? We are all like, that's ingrained into us. But when you talk about doing that, you mentioned something in there, adding on to it or finding the time to do it in addition. In your opinion, why do most people, if they know it has a renewal opportunity or knows adding that business to their existing clients they have now could bring so much more revenue, why do they not do it? Or how do some people do it possibly incorrect or put themselves in a hole?
I think we have a cognitive bias. The human brain has a cognitive bias towards keeping things the same. That's it. We're wired like once we learn something and we can get good at that, just do that because that's easy. It's comfortable. It's like if you grow up being right-handed, it's so hard to teach a right-handed person to dribble the ball with their left hand, right? Or to do a left-handed layup. It just feels awkward. It feels clumsy. And so we automatically default to the thing that's easier. We do that in everything in life. Our relationships. Sometimes people stay in relationships they shouldn't just because they're comfortable in that. I know that person's problems, so I'd rather have those problems than go find out someone's brand new problems. Like we get comfortable in these environments. And so it's hard to think, well, in order to add something, in order to add two new carriers to my lineup for life insurance, I got to learn 2 entirely new processes. I got to get to know the underwriting. I got to get to know how they fit. What is the issue rate like? Do they, what's the claim rate like? What's the support team at the carrier level like? Are they responsive? Like, so everything is a level of comfort, and that comfort zone can get us trapped.
For sure. I think my biggest advice for that, and when I coach or talk to different agents that are looking to even expand from final expense to mortgage protection or vice versa, is you've got what you do down pat. You're dependent on it. You understand it. You know it like the back of your hand. And instead of going all in immediately in a completely different direction that you're not aware of, let's slow down a little bit and let's start learning that process, not taking away from your revenue generating activity time now. If you have, and generally, if you're honest with yourself, people in the industry, they're not pumping in the amount of hours they would be in corporate America. So there's opportunity there.
Always, yeah.
So add on, commit to working an extra day a week, and that extra day is nothing dedicated to learning that new product line, that new method, the new e-apps, the new products, the new way to sell it, getting on calls, trainings, whatever. Add that. Don't replace and take away what you're currently doing, because that's going to then affect your income. And then what happens?
I would say the only thing that they do need to replace is some activities that are non-revenue generating.
Yes.
Right? Someone said to me one time, in order to add something to your life, you've got to give up something. Right? And sometimes giving up something is just a bad habit. And that bad habit might be sleeping in till 9:30 because that's what you like to do. And so you stay up till 1 or 2 because you've gotten into a pattern now because you run your own business that you can do that.
Or eating 2 bags of chips watching Netflix.
Whatever. It might be your Thursday night game that you do that you joined years ago and you just keep showing up because that's what you've always done. Now you want to add something new in your life. You want to learn something new. Like you got to give something up in order to do that. Well, you need to look at what is non-revenue generating and what is the lowest value to your human existence and eliminate those things so you can put the new piece in so you can learn something new.
Absolutely. And I think it's very important to protect yourself from focus drift because you want to stay sharp and maintain what you're very efficient and profitable at. And again, add on the newness, add on until you're almost double dipping. I always tell people now you have 2 jobs. It's not just one anymore. You have 2 jobs for a while until you can be comfortable with it, which always helps.
That focus drift thing gets a lot of people, when they, especially if you're already in the business. And if you're already in the business and you're trying to cross over to like health insurance or Medicare from life, it's so easy to go all in and just try to learn the new thing. You actually completely abandon. You don't intentionally do it, but there's almost like, because they're trying to learn everything at once in large, quantities fast, sometimes the existing business gets neglected.
You ever watch Space Jam?
Yeah.
The original?
Yes.
So this
I was going to say, if you're talking about the second one, no.
No. I'm not a big fan of the second one. But the original, and this always reminds me of this scene, is when the Monstars take the basketball to Earth, right? And they're going to the NBA games, and they have like Charles Barkley and all these players start to touch it, and then it sucks their talent out into this basketball, right? And then they can't even walk straight. They don't even know what to do. And this always reminds me of this because agents, once they have that focus drift or they just break their momentum and what they're doing in their revenue, they act like, I lost all my talent. I don't think I can sell anything anymore. I can't even walk straight. I can't even go to the door. I can't even make a phone call. And that's hilarious to me, but it always reminds me of that stealing the talent from the NBA players.
Well, I think the human brain only has so much capacity to process so much at any given time. And so when all of your focus goes into a new area, and that's where your attention is, and where your attention goes means that your attention is not somewhere else. And so if you're not attending to the revenue generating activities of your business or what you have to do in order to cover the basics, to cover your business goals, costs, expenses, marketing, all that stuff, it can feel like a pressure. And so then when you look back, you're feeling a financial pressure because you've got so much time put into the transition.
Well, actually, that's exactly what I want to talk about next, because when we talk about growth, we talk about expanding, but we want to maintain our profitability, our focus. We have to understand is our capacity. And you just said it there. Our capacity is so important. And I believe there's levels and plateaus that we hit in our life until we then want to push beyond it. And then we take a whole nother level of growth that we've never been to before. So therefore, we naturally don't think it's possible. And one of the biggest things for me in that is when you hit that level of growth is to seek out somebody that has been to a level above you.
Yes.
And that's been at every aspect of my life. That's been my personality. I know what level I can hit based upon my knowledge and experience. Like even in sports, I would want to go play against players that were a lot better than me, a lot older than me, a lot stronger, faster, because I needed to expand my talents or my way of thinking, my way of playing. And that translates the same in business. When I first moved into this business, I'm asking questions. I'm looking at the people that already had big teams and managers. How did they operate? How did they walk? How did they move? What questions did they ask? How did they lead? What did they do well? What did they do not so well? A lot of times you can learn more from what not to do than what actually to do. But then even looking at you and your businesses and everything you're doing, like you want to analyze and soak up and use those mentors that's going to make it easier for you. And there's something out there that can prevent people from doing that. And that's the word of ego.
Yeah.
Or
like
pride.
it's funny because this idea of what you just said, you've heard the phrase experience is the best teacher, right? Experience is the best teacher. Well, someone didn't actually, I think if you tweak that and say someone else's experience is actually the best teacher, because an experience you learn yourself, it's a very tough, sometimes a tough or well-learned lesson. Sometimes it's costly, right? It can cost you relationships. It can cost you financially, right? You make a bad move, a decision financially, an investment, crypto, whatever, right? I'm going to buy GameStop. It's going to the moon.
It is.
And next thing you've lost, $80,000 because you bought a bunch of GameStop that's not worth anything. But everyone's getting in on it, so I got to get in. So when experience is a good teacher.
Mm-hmm.
However, someone else's experience, you just said, if you can get into a community where these are trusted advisors, people that you know are trustworthy, they're not just going to give you BS because it makes you feel good, but they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to share with you the stuff that they did wrong.
Yeah.
Right? If you got good ones. Now, if you got people who have an ego, they don't want to share with stuff that they did wrong because they don't want to ever think that they made a mistake.
Yeah.
You may be in the wrong company. Get in the right company, they'll share with you what went wrong. But your ego can prevent you from asking those questions. Sometimes their ego might make them the wrong mentor. You need to get a mentor who's got a proper ego.
Yeah,
and
and
you
if
need to be in a place
put
too.
yourself in that position, because we've all been there at some point in time. A lot of these agents, it's the fear of uncertainty that generates an internal anxiety for them. And they, even though they're trying to learn from their experience, anything we've ever done in our life, and I know that's me personally, I believe everything happens for a reason, even though if you don't know the reason yet. And whenever you look back years or months or whenever that issue has been resolved, you can see it clearly that it worked out perfectly. It always has and it always will. But at that moment, if you're just relying on your experience, you could be jaded, you could be upset, you could be frustrated, you could be down on yourself, you could not have confidence, you could have high anxiety, all of those things. But like you said, when you have a mentor or somebody that's been through it, listen to the way they talk. They're always calm. They always have conviction because they've been through it. They've seen the result. They've seen the other side. And you can actually borrow some of that internally to make you feel better and calm down moving towards that.
There was, in the last 4 weeks on our coaching program, so we do, for those of you who are listening and watching, we do a weekly power group coaching call on Thursday mornings, which is one of our products that we offer. We offer an unlimited courses and coaching that you can get involved in. You can just do coaching, or you could do our courses and our coaching. And we have hundreds of agents that join us on a weekly basis on Thursday mornings. In the last 4 weeks, I did a series on the 4-letter word that holds us. The 4-letter word starts with F, that's holding us back from success in life. And it's not the word you think, it's the word called fear. Fear is what holds us back. And one of the things that we're trying to avoid when it comes to fear, especially when it comes to this stuff, what you just said is an avoidance of what we call process pain. We're trying to avoid the pain of the process. Like, we don't know if we're willing to go through what it takes to get the thing on the other side, or what am I going to have to change to get there? Or what am I going to have to learn? What am I going to have to give up? You know, am I prepared to go through this? Am I enough? Can I do it? All the questions that you have in your mind. Well, when you get connected to a community of someone who's been through it, who's got your back, like-minded people, now you can see how they manage their time. You can see how they manage their process. You can see how they make decisions. You can see how they implemented development and growth into their business. And now you have help. You have a community that's actually helping you through that process to grow.
Yeah, 100%. Being able to have that help and being willing to accept that help is everything. And that could be help from, like you said, a community. It could be help from a mentor. It could be help from somebody outside of the business that's involved in the church. I know you have some really good relationships that you lean on all the time for different perspectives that don't necessarily know the details, but it's all principles.
Yeah.
But it could be even more. It could be a family member. It could be acquiring help of, a family member to help you with paperwork or help you manage some of your existing business while you're expanding into another area of business. It could be just simply as hiring your first employee.
I know many people who've hired their mom.
Yeah.
How many agents have we worked with that have their mom on the payroll part-time to help them process
quite
business,
a bit, actually,
or do follow-up or do some admin stuff, like a lot, or their sister or their sister-in-law. Like, once you start getting help, you can expand your capacity. Not only are you around people who will give you advice on how to do it properly, but now you actually have some physical help.
Yeah.
And you may be able to expand to a level where you realize, hey, I'm really good at mortgage protection sales over the phone. I have really high capacity. I would be more efficient if I could spend more time talking to clients rather than doing all the process stuff to get those clients' policies issued or to get the appointments. And you may be able to hire somebody to actually work with you on a part-time basis or a full-time basis as an executive admin to come alongside you. Like, many of you haven't even thought about that. Many people, they're like, well, I'm a life insurance agent. I don't want to pay money to have someone do the things that I can do.
Yeah, you know what I call that? That's a nickel holding up a dollar. That's exactly what that is. Because
that's not the first time he's ever said that.
No, I love it. It's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're scared to spend a nickel in order to make a dollar.
Yeah.
Because if you talk to anybody and everybody, I promise you, anybody and everybody that has hired somebody to help them with their business, it has made them 10 times more profitable based upon what they pay.
Most of the people, though, because of their entrepreneurial spirit, they feel like no one's going to do it as good as they do. And that entrepreneurial spirit and ego comes back to ego again.
Yep.
Like, you heard the old saying, if you want something done right, you got to
do it yourself.
Do it yourself. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible adage, right? It doesn't mean that it's done right. It's just the way it's done right in your eyes. And the way done right in your eyes doesn't mean it's the best way, it's the most efficient way, it's the most profitable way.
If you want to always be doing it.
If you want to always be doing it, do it yourself. Correct. If you want to grow and scale, get some help. Get around some people who see things differently.
Yeah, so we talked about how we can expand in our product line to grow our business. How can we expand in our capacity to be able to facilitate the learning curve, everything that goes into expanding your brand and your income opportunity. Now the biggest thing is we have these extra tools, we have this extra stuff. How do we market ourselves now? How do we expand our marketing to now drive in new revenue?
I think some people think that in order to grow their business, they just got to buy more leads all the time. Spend more money on leads. That's one way. That's one way you can expand your marketing. You can acquire more leads, right? Just purchase them. There's some other stuff that you can do that sets up some automation and some things. You can create landing pages, websites. You can create funnel pages. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically a product or service that you're offering to the world that as a way for you to get connected with that client where you're offering something of value to them in exchange for their contact information. Now you turn them into a potential lead. Like there's things that you can set up, ways that you can tell your story through social media branding, through all of your touches, the way that people see you outside of a physical contact with you. How is the world observing you? What is your presence on Facebook like? What does it look like on LinkedIn? Like these are things that if you set up once or have someone help you set up once, right? It can be, it creates freedoms for you to focus on the things that you're good at, and it allows other people to still connect with you and find you because you've made it easy for them to find you. You've made it easy for them to connect with you.
Here's the simplest answer. Let people know what you believe in and what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're the person that was a CPA for 20 years, right? Hey, it's John the CPA, right? Or it's Mike the car mechanic. Whoever you're identified by what you've done throughout your entire life. If you don't believe me, look at the clients that you sell, right? What have they done for the last 30 years? That's their identity. So the simple answer is...
Well, think about your car mechanic. If you've gone to the same mechanic for 10 years, you probably know that guy's name and he's in your phone. In fact, my guy is in my phone and he's someone you referred to me years ago, and he's in my phone as Otto Don.
That's
D-O-N.
because that's why he's in my phone.
Otto Don, right? Because now when I think of I need repairs, Otto Don. And so
the funny thing is he actually sold the business and it's Dave.
Yeah.
But I never changed it to Dave either. So.
Yeah. But when I think about Don or Dave or whomever, if I ever see them outside of that environment, it catches me off guard because that's not how I see that guy. So we are known by what we do.
Exactly. So letting them know if now you're in the insurance business, let people know that you're in the insurance business. Let them know what products and services you can help them with. Let them know who you are, that you're a real person. If you've always, and this is a lot of existing people, if you've ran final expense leads for years and you have a gazillion final expense clients, or you've ran mortgage protection for years and you have a gazillion mortgage protection clients, let them know that now you have all these other products and services available.
Or at least one more.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Oh, I've actually been looking for Medicare. Wow, I didn't know you did that, Roger. I'm glad you reached out to me and let us know that I'm already your client. You already have trust with me. You've already protected our family in one manner. It's that simple to just let them know.
Zach, one of the biggest wins this year, I mean, that's an oxymoron that I say one of the biggest wins. Because what I'm getting ready to say is that people have been losing so much value in their retirement accounts because of what's going on in the stock market. I mean, the markets are down over 30, 35%. and the people at JP Morgan, Chase, all these big firms, they're projecting a potential another 20% loss by the end of the year.
Ooh.
I mean, this could literally be the biggest market crash as far as the stock market goes, market loss in decades this year. Well, we have a product with our life insurance license called a fixed indexed annuity that you can help protect those people's finances, their retirements. And if you let people know that you have these products and services available, guess what? They want to be educated on them. So if you just educate yourself on this one new product line, just this one, and you start letting people know that you help people protect their retirement accounts by giving them upside gain without any downside risk, and a potential multiplier if there was ever a death benefit payout to a family member or a friend. That's all people are looking for.
Yep.
They're just looking to protect what they got. They want to keep what they've got, not lose what they've got.
But Roger, you're a final expense guy. I didn't know that.
I know. I didn't tell them. I mean, one of our partners the other day said that he found out his client wrote an annuity case, and he goes, "You have money you moved into annuity?" He said, Brian, don't tell me you do annuities. And he said, I got a little bit sick in my stomach. Because then when I asked him how much he rolled into that annuity, he realized he missed on, 5 healthy figures of commission that he could have made for himself. So just this one new
just by letting people know what you do.
Letting people know what you do.
Marketing your brand. If you have a website, if you have just a business card, put it on the back with a QR code. Or when you go into the home or you talk to people, just give them a simple sheet that you let them know, like, this is all the different products and services I can help your family with.
Yeah. I'm going to give people a $19.99 tip for free.
All right.
You ready? We used to do these. We called them $19.99 tips. And they're not really $19.99. But if you want to send $19.99 somewhere, maybe Adam can post up his link. Maybe. Adam's giving me thumbs up over there. But like when we went through the pandemic, one of the things that we wanted to make sure people had was an option to send a digital business card. So whenever I'm at events, whenever I'm at any type of conference or a public outing and people ask what I do, I have a one-liner developed of what we do. And my one-liner is, some people feel like they're not making enough money or they're stuck in a job or a career they don't love. At Impact Legacy Group, we offer a 6-figure sales career and $1 million business plan to help people regain control of their life and have the family and have the time to enjoy it. I mean, that's my one-liner. So I developed that one-liner, okay? That's for our agency side. That's my one-liner for what we do. In addition to that, people say, well, can I get your card? Or here, can I share my contact information with you? And so at our team here, we use a service, and I'm not getting paid anything on this. Maybe I should have called and found this out first before I put this out there to the world. But
Adam, bleep this out until we get a check.
Popl, P-O-P-L, Popl has a digital business card that you can set up, and maybe Adam can, I don't know, Adam, maybe you can show something about Popl. But Popl's a simple business card that you can put your digital business card. You can share it with people. They can scan it from a QR code. You can actually tap it to the back. They send you a physical card. You can tap it to their phone. It shows up with a link. It allows them to share their information with you and yours with them. You can put your website as profile. It allows you to put your contact info. If you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got a LinkedIn page, it puts all of your contact resources in one spot and helps you tell your story. You can use that with clients for referrals. You can use that with family and friends at outings and at networking events. It's a simple way for you to digitally share who you are with the world. When they share their contact back with you, you can drop them into a spreadsheet, and now you have their contact information ongoing.
Cool thing is on that is you can toggle between personal and business. Yeah. If you pay for the upgrade to have both, the Pro. I actually just told one of our agents down in Houston, Texas area about this, like literally, I think yesterday, about the digital business card. And, she typically does telesales. And that was one thing that I did a lot over COVID. Yeah. And I wouldn't even tell them. I'd say, Miss Jones, this is a cell phone number, isn't it? Yeah, this is my cell phone. Okay, perfect. Look at that link I just sent you, and I would literally share over my contact link over to her, and she'd be able to pull it up and be able to see it and go through it. And now you have everything about me right there. Talk about credibility and ease.
And trust.
So if you're looking to expand your opportunity, you're at a job fair, you're at an event, you're talking to somebody that might be interested in what you're doing, very easy to do. If you're on the phone with clients or you want to let them know the products and services, you can toggle back and forth and let them know exactly what you want to do.
It's so cool too, because it's always a talking point. When your QR code has a picture of you in the middle of it,
That's pretty cool.
And you say, here, scan this with your camera. And they go, what is that? And they scan it, and you can share it in a link, or they can scan it. When they scan it, it pops up on their phone.
Yeah.
It allows them to give you their information.
And I don't know how you did this, but somehow every time they scan yours, they're invited to one barbecue in your backyard. So
something like that. So like these are small little tools that people can implement to grow their business, to expand their marketing, expand their capacity, and to just stay focused while they're trying to grow their sales, while they're trying to grow their business.
Absolutely. And if there's anything that we need to expand on in order to help you guys or help you hit another level, you like that? If you're ever hit another level or just want some more clarity, just please reach out to us. You can always find us at lifeinsuranceacademy.org or find us on all the socials. Adam can place them right here. Thank you, Adam. And we'll catch you guys on our next episode.
Go expand your business. Make a difference. Talk next time.